talking to Yanya, it felt like there was a complete disconnect between the way she talks about herself and sees herself and the way the world sees her as a competitor. This is Climbing Gold. Because I think when people watch her in competition, they see a predator come out and devour her prey. It's basically like you see like a panther like stalking. I mean, and especially like in the Paris Olympics, she basically came out, dispatched the problems, and went back to isolation like so fast. Like it looked predatory. She was like, I am devouring these problems.
Yeah.
But then talking to her, she's like, "Oh, I love to hang out with my friends, and I'm a very happy, person. Play with my family. It's and you're like, wait, like nobody sees that about you. Like everybody sees you as the winningest competitor of all time.
What about the fact that like to be the greatest of all time, you have to have some sort of mentality. It seems like where you're just like, I'm not good enough, or I still have room to improve, even when your results say differently. Um, did that stand out to you about Yanya?
Yeah, I mean, I think Janja definitely seems uh, relentless. I mean, she's
Yeah.
uh, just always aspiring to. She's the winningest competitor of all time. She's world champion. She's done all these things. She's an incredible climber, but she hasn't actually climbed the hardest grades outside. She hasn't matched some of the accomplishments of some other climbers in the world. I mean, I could see how she could maintain a fire burning, because I think from her perspective, she can look at some other competitors and some other climbers and be like, oh, there are things that other people have done that I haven't. And so there's always something for her to aspire to, which
Mhm.
I think is true for literally all climbers. Like we all have that.
Yeah.
Except for most of us, it's like some 11-year-old in the gym who's climbing better than us. And we're sort of like, oh man, I got to train harder to be like that person.
Do you feel like it's funny because like I actually talking with Yanya, I feel like I see some overlap between how you are too, where you're like you often are like, I understand like you're maybe not quite at the same
Like not
level
even
of
remotely close to the
yeah
same level.
there, but there is like this like hunger where you're often like very critical of your own climbing, or you like look for the ways of like how to be better, what you're very aware of what you need to work on.
I think there's a difference though between being critical of your own climbing and just being aware that there's room for improvement. Because
Yeah.
there's literally always room for improvement. Like you can always do it a little better.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and I think talking to Yanya, she actually had a pretty healthy, like, I don't think she ever put herself down.
Yeah.
I mean, like she knows that she's a great climber. She just also knows that she can be an even better climber with the right amount of effort and the,
Hmm.
the right type of training. And
Yeah.
so I think the Yanya had a really healthy approach to self-improvement, really. She just sounded so psychologically healthy compared to some other competitors. It's like she just like in a lot of ways it reminded me of speaking of Brooke. Like Brooke is incredibly well adjusted and like unstressed, but then some other competitors we've talked to are just seem so stressed. The vocabulary set they use and like the tension in competition is just so much. And I mean, Yanya, I mean, obviously experiences the same stress as other competitors, but just I mean, it's obviously less stressful when you win every single competition
Yeah.
also, but still, I don't know. She seemed to be really healthy around it.
Yeah. No, that was like, I guess, like, what role does joy play in climbing for you?
Well, for me, I think joy is a pretty big part of climbing, or at least I do so much easy climbing and so much fun soling. I think that I actually get a lot of fun in my climbing. But I think for somebody like Yanya, she probably has a lot less fun than I do, let's say.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
'cause
she makes it sound like she loves it. I mean, like, that was like the other part about it is like, she's like, I just love this. Like, I love the training, like all of it. Like,
Yeah,
like,
I do think there's a difference though between loving it because I mean I love the training too. I love all that stuff, but it's different than the pure joy of just like hiking out and soloing easy mountains and
yeah.
summiting things. Like, because that feels like playful. Like I have a hard time imagining that her doing drills and like 4x4s and stuff feels playful in the same way, but maybe it does.
Yeah. Although maybe like when she's coming out like a big cat and
Yeah,
just like
exactly.
destroying those
With
problems,
that,
she's like,
exactly,
there's like joy in
exactly.
that, you
Yeah, when
know.
she's ripping the holds off the wall and all the other competitors are looking at her side-eyed, being like, "Oh God."
I remember, I think it was in the basically like the first round of the Olympics or whatever, and she came out so hot. Like her first
Yeah,
goes on the problem,
yeah,
it was
totally,
like she was going past the holds almost like that. It
totally.
was like so strong and so
No, it's
psyched and
crazy. And
so like
and she has
ready.
what the 5 minute clock, and she'd send the problems in 15 seconds, and then literally be back in
Yeah,
isolation. And like
yeah,
all the other girls are out there still just working their problems for the full five
yeah.
minutes, and you're like, there went Yanya. You're just like, oh my God.
Yeah,
It's
like her
crazy.
whole gold medal time, she like climbed for like 6 minutes or
Yeah,
something.
totally,
Like
totally. Yeah,
yeah,
including her time on the lead wall. It's like her total Olympic effort. Can you imagine you train for 4 years and then you do like 7 minutes of climbing total?
yeah. Obviously, it's like hard to predict the future, but when you think about Janya's ceiling with gold medals, she's already thinking about Brisbane in 2032. We didn't even know where the Olympics were at that stage. Like there's LA in 28. Like it does sort of seem like that she could end up being amongst those Olympic greats, like the Michael Phelpses of the world, or the Katie Ledeckis,
Well,
the
she can't quite be a Michael Phelps because she doesn't have as many
events, but
categories to
but
win,
like in terms of like the
sadly.
actual, yeah, that's true. It's like the gold medal count won't be there, but like the actual
Yeah.
dominance in the field, it could
Yeah,
be.
I think Janja definitely has, is a clear favorite for LA 28. I think beyond that, it's really hard to say just because there's so much talent coming into climbing all the time
Mhm.
that, it's hard to imagine some up and comer being much better than her in the next 3 or 4 years. But it's not that hard to imagine somebody that's undiscovered right now, 7 years from now, being much better.
Yeah,
I mean, even, it's kind of hard to imagine because she's so good, but I mean, look at all the random kids. I mean, like in the US men's bouldering scene right now, they're like all these random 19-year-olds that are climbing V17. You're just kind of like, dude, there is a tremendous amount of talent right now. So, I
yeah,
mean, I think she'll have her work cut out for her. I think the thing that I'm interested to see with Yanya is when she'll climb 9B plus, when she'll climb 9C. I mean, I think she's definitely poised to be the the greatest female outdoor climber of all time as well if she tries, but she just hasn't quite gone there. She certainly has the capability. It'll
yeah.
be it'll be interesting to see.
She was sound like she was fairly close on bibliography, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, seemed like struggled with conditions, struggled with skin, struggled with the whole game of projecting, it seemed like,
Hmm.
but didn't necessarily seem like it was outside of her grasp. It's kind of like, oh, it seems like something she could do.
Yeah. Yeah. She definitely had that sort of feeling of like, oh, it could have lined up if like the conditions had been a little bit better.
Yeah,
She definitely didn't seem that stressed about that or like being like, oh, this is going to be an epic battle. It just sort of seemed
totally.
like I need to actually make the time to go do this.
And for that being one of the hardest routes in the world, you're like, oh wow, like and that's a whole new level for women. So kind of like
Hmm.
that's that's something.